thank you guys so much for this excellent panel, and to everyone else here for coming out tonight. I know it was probably not an easy drive or trek for anyone. And a huge thank you to Rodney and Paula for doing the heavy lifting of organizing this great event and getting the documentary up here for all of us to watch. Again, my name is MAH00974. Goldman. I'm with the Southern Poverty Law Center in Tallahassee. Back there is my colleague Angela Charles, who drove over with me. And we are so happy to be here with you guys tonight. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know we're all eager to get home, but I just want to mention that Splc is part of a nonpartisan coalition of groups, mostly in Florida, called the No Place for a Child Coalition. This is our t-shirt, and some of you guys took some of our things at the table in the back. And the main focus of this coalition is to severely restrict, but ideally one day end the use of direct file in Florida, which is the process, one of the processes by which kids are ending up in the adult system. And so this is happening to over 1,000 kids every single year. Numbers have gone down, but that's still a lot of kids. And the juvenile system is terrible. The funneling from schools into the system is terrible, but once kids get stuck in the adult system, that's a record that stays with them for the rest of their lives. That's a felony record. Even if they're not ending up in prison, they might be on probation, but they still have that adult felony conviction on their record. And so that's something that's being used to an extreme in this state. We do work that is policy focused. Every year we are helping to introduce bills in the state legislature to really restrict the use of direct file. Again, ideally we'd like to end that one day, but it's a slow process. And we also do litigation, cases to try to where we can bring that show really young kids who really should not have been swept into the system the way they were, and how it's affected them, and try to end or change the practice that way. And we also do a lot of community outreach. We know that change really can't happen unless we're doing all three of those things together. So part of the coalition's work is every year during the legislative session is we have lobby days to bring attention to this issue. So I know the session doesn't start till March next year, but if anyone here would be interested in coming out to Tallahassee for that, please come see me before you head out. And the last thing I'll mention is, we know lobby days, that's great, but that's one day a year. What else can you do throughout the year? We know that a lot of kids are affected by this issue, but a lot of those kids have families, right? So those families are impacted in different ways as well. So we are working with a bunch of families across the state to form a committee within the coalition of people who are directly impacted, so that they can kind of carry that advocacy with them in their own communities on a daily or monthly basis, not just in Tallahassee for a lobby day. So if that's something that you would be interested in joining, or if you know someone who would be interested in joining, please also come see me and we can talk about that as well. So thank you guys again for coming out tonight. Safe travels home, and hope to see you at the next event. Thank you.